All right, good day everyone. And welcome to our special YouTube lessons. Today we're going to be looking at the concept of evolution thoroughly. Okay, we're going to look at all the theories of evolution in this video. I'll make this video in two parts. Two parts. First one will be evolution one, and the second part will be evolution two. In evolution one, I'm going to look at the theories of evolution, and I'm going to look at all the theories of origin of life and the theories of evolution. Then I will tell you types of evolution in this first video. The second video, I will talk about post or modern evolution theories. Modern evolution theories, what we call post Darwinism or neo Darwinism, and I'll also I'll look at the evidence supporting evolution, comparative embryology, and co in video two. So this is the first video. So in this video, quickly before I start, this video is helpful. This series are helpful to you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button to get notified if a new video drops, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. So let's dive in now. The evolution. Now, evolution is the sum of adaptive changes that occur in a population or in a species of organism gradually over time. Okay, the sum adaptive changes that occur in a population or species of organism gradually over time. That's evolution. Now, some persons have argued that um, um, how life how life begins. Some persons argued, there are many arguments about how life begins. But the common ones which gained grounds on earth were the, the origin of life theory. So this theory is a really gained grounds on earth. This ones. The first one is special creation theory. Now the special creation theory is a let's say religious theory, but it's believed that by many group of people, by many certain people of different religions and race, that life was created by God, um, and in 6 days, some say 5 days, some say 7 days. Okay, but the one in the Bible says life was created by God in 6 days, um, which is one of the most believed of the origin of life theory. Was created by God in 6 days, and after the 6 day, on the 6th day he created man and so on and so forth. So that's the theory of special creation, that God created life. Okay, um, okay with that theory. Now, for sciences, some people may have to argue. But the theory is okay. If you need to know more about the theory, you can look at the Bible, look at the Quran. Okay. Now, the next theory I'll talk about is the theory of spontaneous generation. The theory of spontaneous generation is like a theory of abiogenesis. That means life came out from non-living things. Like it's one of its like the theory of abiogenesis, but it's not really the theory of abiogenesis. I'm going to talk about the theory of abiogenesis when I get to biochemical origin. Now, the theory of spontaneous generation was first brought about by Aristotle in the BCs. Okay, now the theory of spontaneous generation said life came from non-living things. For instance, maggot on meat, on rotten meat, maggot on rotten meat, on rotten matter, mice on rats. So this organism just started to live on these things. So they came from non-living things. They non-living things undergo some certain reactions. They believe, and life was created. It was supported by Aristotle, but it was a major blow came to this theory when Louis Pasteur in 1863 talked about the swan neck theory. The swan neck theory. And the swan neck theory showed that microorganisms such as bacteria can only come from pre-existing life. So when there was just clay and heat for a period of time on the swan neck theory, the bacteria could not be formed. So this person provided that living organisms could just come from only existing life. So this person gave us what we call the biogenesis theory. The biogenesis, that living organism came from life. Okay, that brought an end or a major blow to the spontaneous generation theory. Now, the next theory we have to look at is the theory of the steady state theory. The steady state theory. Now, what is the steady state theory say? It's also known as the eternity of life theory. The theory says that you should not argue about life. Okay, that we should not argue about life. That the life is a continuous process. Okay, I noted something here about the steady state theory. He said life is an inherent and an enduring aspect of the cosmos. That means life is constant. Life is constant. The origin of life is not known. Life has been there. It's a part of the universe. It's a part of the universe that is certain, that is constant. There will always be life on the universe, and the life on the universe is continuing and constant. The theory was mainly talked about or brought about by independently by three people: Frederick O, Thomas Gold, and Emma Bondi. Okay, so this guy said um, life is steady and life has no end. So the end of one life is the beginning of another life. So a life has no end. Life is a constant aspect of the cosmos, constant aspect of the cosmos, or constant aspect of the universe. So we should not argue about life. So it's called the eternity of life. Life will not end. So they argue that they argue with many people saying that one day the life is going to end on earth. They said life will not end and it is continuing and enduring. That the close of one chapter should open another chapter of life. Now, what about the cosmosal theory? Now, the cosmosal theory is also known as the permeable theory, the permeable theory. Okay, now the cosmosal theory was a very major theory, and this theory was so important, and it talked about that life was actually brought, that it's almost supporting the steady state theory. It's almost supporting the steady state theory, the cosmosal theory. It's almost in alignment with the steady state theory. It said that life came from pre-existing life. That life before coming to earth already existed somewhere. So already existed somewhere in the cosmos. That means there was a part of the universe life already existed. Then the life was now transported to earth. Okay, the life was now transported to earth by meteorites and celestial body. Meteorites meteorites and celestial bodies. So meteorites and celestial bodies transported this life to Earth. The life already existed somewhere. Life existed somewhere, but it was transported to Earth by meteorites and celestial body. It was well supported by Servant Arrhenius. Theory was well supported by Servant Arrhenius. Um, and an example of this theory was proven during a session in Australia in the middle 19th century, where a, a meteorite fell in Australia called the Murchison meteorite. Murchison meteorite. The Murchison meteorite was a meteorite that had bacteria on it, that had life on it. So it supported this theory. So with that, many scientists believe that life came from somewhere in or somewhere in the universe before it was transported to places like Earth. Like um that life is also eternal. So it's almost in alignment with the eternity of life theory, the steady state theory. Okay, it's called the cosmosal theory. Life existed somewhere. Okay, before it was transported to places where there was no life. So and they were transported through celestial bodies. Okay, so for example, the Murchison meteorite in Australia. Okay, that I talked about how life came from space fell on Australia, and the meteorites contained bacteria. Okay, the next one is the biochemical theory, or this is also known as the theory of abiogenesis. Now, this theory is the latest of all of them. Okay, this was the theory of Oparin and Ardeen. So, Oparin in 1924 and Ardeen in 1929 independently talked about how life can generate from non-living things. They said that life was generated after lightning and UV radiations hit or struck the earth. So when the earth was exposed to lightning and UV radiation, inorganic substances started reacting and they formed amino acids, and amino acids form other biomolecules. Other biomolecules now generate bacteria generate fungi, and so on and so forth. So they said one part in their theory. They said life came from what we call the primordial soup. The primordial soup is like a evolutionary concept that says non-living things formed a soup. They started reacting to form amino acids, they form carbohydrates. So it's like a soup. So non-living things came from the primordial soup. So this was carried out by Oparin and Ardeen. They tried to prove the theory. Okay, this is the main theory of abiogenesis, supporting what Aristotle said millions of years back. Okay, so in the early 20th century, Oparin and Ardeen gave us the biochemical theory of biochemical origin, or what we call the theory of abiogenesis. Now, the theory of abiogenesis, we said life comes from non-living things or reactions of non-living things to form amino acid and later form other macromolecules which can form bacteria and other cells. Um, this theory of abiogenesis was well supported by Miller-Urey. Miller-Urey was one of the first scientists to produce amino acid on Earth. So Miller-Urey produced amino acid from simple inorganic substances. So he produced amino acid, the biomolecule, a molecule found in life, from simple inorganic substances in the presence of lightning and heat. So Miller-Urey did this. So this theory was well accepted due to the support of Miller-Urey, which produced amino acids naturally from inorganic substances. So these are the theories of the origin of life. These are the theories of the origin of life. Now, the next set of theories was no longer the origin of life. So this is a theory that believe how that tend to suggest how life started. Now, the next theories are the theories of evolution. The theories of evolution. Now, in modern day biology, there are three theories of evolution: Lamarck's theory, Darwin's theory, and the post-Darwin's theory. The post-Darwin's theory, the post-Darwin era, is like an era we belong to. Okay, it's like an era we belong to. What did Lamarck say in his theory? Lamarck stated this and said, living up in his theory of evolution, Lamarck stated the law of things. Before I just dive into now, Lamarck in his theory gave us three things governing evolution. Lamarck said, one, he gave us the theory of use and disuse. Theory of use and disuse. He gave us the theory of acquired traits, the theories of acquired traits, and he gave us the theory of need, theory of use and disuse, theory of acquired trait, and theory of need. Okay, what is the theory of need talking about? Let's start with need. According to Darwin, living organism when they need a particular living organism when they need a particular organ, when they need a particular organ, or rather organs that are wanted, or body parts or structures that are wanted, characters that are wanted by living organism to carry out some certain characteristics or to carry out some certain functions are acquired by nature. So naturally, if I, for instance, I had no legs before and I want to walk or I want to crawl, or let me say walk, I had no legs before, now I want to crawl. According to Darwin and Lamarck, with time I'm going to acquire leg because I need legs. So he used the snakes, for instance, and as an example. He said the snakes had legs before. The snakes had legs, but the snakes what's it called? The snakes tend to follow dense vegetations. They live in dense vegetation of the tropical rainforest. So for the snake to now survive, they had to lose their leg. Their legs were no longer in need. So they need a more like a streamlined body for crawling. That's what the modern snake now had to deliver. I said that the ancient snake had legs. He used that to explain what we call the theory of need, that all structures or body parts or characteristics that are needed to survive are evolved or acquired by the organism. Now we look at the what's it called, the theory of acquired traits. Look at the theory of acquired traits. The theory of acquired, or rather, before I look at the theory of acquired trait, because theory of acquired trait was like the fallacy of the theory now of his evolutionary theories. Now you look at the use and disuse, it's almost similar to the use of need, theory of need. Theory of use and disuse. Lamarck cited the example on giraffe. He said the ancestors of the giraffe were short. They were not as tall as the modern giraffe, but they had to feed on leaves on tall trees. They have to feed on leaves on tall trees or the shrubs of tall trees. They have to browse on the shrubs of tall trees. So they tend to stretch. They tend to stretch to eat the leaves. So assuming the leaves is somewhere up there, I tend to stretch. So this stretching with time, it shows that the giraffe will have to need, or we no longer use his short neck, it needs to use a long neck. So with time some of the giraffe became tall, became getting their legs becoming, they become longer. So the modern giraffe had long necks, so they needed long neck, or they need to use long neck. Okay, so because long neck were in use, it had to evolve, and short neck were not in use, it went into extinction. You get? So he said body parts that are in use evolve to the next generation, or transfer to the next generation, while body parts that are not in use are not in disuse tend to go into extinction. That's the theory of use and disuse. Okay, now the fallacy of Lamarck's theory. This is a question they ask in most examinations, especially the UTMA and in University of the UTMA examination in Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Many examinations are one of the topics, one of the chapters of your biology, or your plant biology, or your animal biology, is evolution. One of the questions they ask is what is the fallacy of Lamarck's theory? The major fallacy is the inheritance of acquired traits. These two can be slightly supported by natural selection and modern evolutionary theories, but the theory of acquired trait cannot be supported, because the theory of acquired trait said, for instance, he said the ancestor of the giraffe needed long neck, and they stretched their neck become longer. So it means that stretching their neck made their neck become longer. So according to Lamarck, those long necks, since they stretch their neck and the neck become longer to just browse or graze on tall trees, those long necks that they acquired during their time are not transmitted or not transferred to the next generation. He said acquired traits are inheritable. So, for instance, I was born lanky, or I was born very slim, and I went to the gym and I acquired muscles going to the gym. It means that I am going to transmit, I'm going to give my child that I'm going to give birth to muscles. He said acquired traits from the environment are transmittable or are transferred to the next generation, which is totally wrong. What is usually transferred is adaptive traits. Acquired trait cannot be transmitted. So you don't acquire muscle, you acquire bone from lady by surgery and transfer it to your child. It's not possible. So it's a fallacy. So these were the major theories of Jean-Baptiste Lamarck in the early 19th century. So the major theory of Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Now the next person's theory we have to look at is the theory of Darwin. But I would like us to stop here for Darwin. So I know I promised earlier in this video that I was going to make Darwin in this video. I was going to make Darwin in this video. Okay, I will have to stop here for Darwin so that the video will not be very, very long and boring for some people to watch. So in the next video, I'm going to do everything that has to do with Darwin. So I'm going to leave this section of the bird nest, and this is Darwin's theory. Every 18 years, Darwin's theory. I'm going to leave this section of the bird nest and look at Darwin's theory, and I'll look at post-Darwin's theory. Post-Darwin theory, I'll look at types of evolution. So types of evolution. So I don't know if I can even talk about. Okay, I'll look at types of evolution in the next video. So until the next video, it's a bye. So the next video is going to come immediately after this video. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Remain the alarm, because have a nice day. God bless you.